Hi, so you're Zena Lynch, you're Honorary Associate Professor at the University of Birmingham, and you're one of the organisers of a conference which is called Building Resilience, Housing, Health and Extreme Events. What gave you the idea for the conference, Zena?
So the idea was generated by the Healthier Housing Partnership, and it was in relation to the numbers of events such as flooding, wildfires, and tornadoes that we're seeing, and the increase in intensity of these events. And the Healthier Housing Partnership felt that there was a knowledge gap in terms of understanding how communities are building resilience and creating healthier communities as part of that process. And so this event is a really good opportunity to hear case studies, research, and projects that are happening right across the world. And we're hoping that bringing these together will help us generally in terms of learning, uh, thinking about preparedness for those sort of extreme events, as well as how we can build better resilience into housing and communities for the future. And we're hoping, once the conference has finished, that we will be able to share conference findings and conference reports. So we're hoping, that will then help us to inform policy around these areas.
Have you been surprised by the level of interest?
Yeah, so there's been it's got this conference has got really wide appeal. It appeals to both professional people, people working in areas such as emergency planning, environmental health, healthcare settings, alongside academic and community leads. And so we've attracted delegates from different continents. And what they're telling me is that this is a unique opportunity for them to hear from speakers across the world.
Thanks. Could you give me some examples?
So we're delighted to have Professor Paloma Taltaval de la Paz, who's going to be talking about the challenges that have arisen from the Valencia flooding, including the importance, if you like, of investment in planning and
Yeah.
preparedness. We've got Catherine Feeney, who is a local emergency arranger at Western Australia. And she's going to be talking about the flooding in West Kimberley and the learning, if you like, from the cyclone that created the flooding and the flooding event itself.
Wow.
We've got Jamila Zana from actually the University of Birmingham, who is talking about the needs of displaced populations in Nigeria and the support systems that need to be in place around that. We've got Guido Martinez, who's emergency and climate change coordinator at the Environmental Health Department in the Ministry of Health in Chile, who is going to be talking about response to wildfire and the frameworks around that. And we've also got communities themselves
Oh,
who are
wow.
leading
Okay.
projects, which is
Wow.
great. In particular, we've got Nusrat Nasab from the Aga Khan Agency for Habitat, who is going to be talking about transformative approaches to safe housing in Pakistan. And
Wow.
we've also got a number of speakers who are going to be talking about retrofit and different ideas around that as
Okay.
well. A great agenda, a great program. And I think, there'll be an aspect that most professionals and health people, community leads would be interested in hearing.
Great. What's the structure of the event, Zena?
On day one, we are really talking about framing the problem,
Yep.
thinking about what the issues are. On day two, we've got the body, if you like, in terms of the papers that we received and the evidence that people have pulled together. And then on day three, we're looking at, the future planning, thinking about resilience as we go forward, and the types of methods that we should be perhaps thinking about. It's a big program, but it's really interesting.
Great. So, how do people register?
You can go to the Healthier Housing webpage, healthierhousing.co.uk, and you can find the registration form there. For people who are paying the full rate, it's £250. If you come from a lower or middle income country, there's a much lower rate for those
Okay.
countries, and you'll find all of that at the link on the Healthier Housing webpage.
Well, thank you, Zena. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Will. Look forward to seeing
Bye.
you there. Take care.